Kuki, niece, you're back. It's been an emotional couple of months.
Yes.
How's everyone holding up?
I think we're doing good, right? Yeah. As you say, it's been emotional, but at the end of the day, we have conviction on what we're doing and that it's for the best of the community and that we're really representing the interest of the NCA, which is sustainable development.
Well, so for anybody who's listening to this who didn't see the last podcast that we did, we're talking about the temporary building regulations, which have been hotly debated and discussed.
So this organization has been built on the concept of promoting sustainable development. And everyone we've spoken to over the last few years, because we have moved towards really focusing on more of the community planning aspect, everyone says they're for sustainable development. Realtors, developers, contractors, when you ask them, it's all about sustainable development. That is the brand that Nosara is trying to promote worldwide. And you can see we're joined by tourist areas all over the world that are dealing with this very important issue. So that's what we're talking about here. This is about sustainable development versus unregulated development. And we are going to firmly keep standing on the side of sustainable development.
I'm really excited to get forward to find out what the heck's about to be announced. So I think a lot of us are anxious. So
what's important right now, and that's part of the update that we want to give, is that the municipality is coming this week on Thursday and on Friday. And we put it out. We sent an email yesterday. We put it on our social media. All the different community leaders in all of Nosara have been, they have received an invitation. There's going to be the official presentation on Thursday. It's going to be at 10 a.m. at the Serapio Lopez Public School. That's the Nosara Public School. And then at 2 p.m. at the Kids Library. That's going to have English translation.
Okay, so Thursday, 10, Spanish to English.
Yes. And then on Friday, there's going to be another one at 10 in the Santa Marta Salón Comunal.
Okay.
And then at 2 p.m. in the Esperanza Public School. So there's going to be 4 sessions, and we really want to encourage everybody to go and listen to what the new version is saying. I'm going to share with you also what it says.
I'm hoping you'll fill us in on that now.
Absolutely. But it's important also that people still go, because if they have questions, that's the appropriate space to address them.
Okay. Are the Josue meetings still going to continue after this?
Yes, there's still going to be time for like one more week for people to send feedback. The first version was published in the Gaceta on July 3rd. So that, by law, it has to be at least 10 business days for people to send their feedback. But we have gotten so many feedback since May 23rd that we already know kind of what's happening. But we still have to respect those 10 business days. And it's very likely that the municipality will give just a little bit more as well. So yes, next Monday, Josue is going to be there.
Okay, so to be clear for anyone listening, what you're about to tell me about is not law. It's not done.
No.
There's still dialogue. There's still an opportunity to express concern or celebration or whatever opinion someone might have.
And just to be clear on it, that this second version really was based on the feedback that the municipality has received since May 23rd. So I think people are going to be pretty relieved when they hear about it.
Let's roll. I'm really excited.
Yeah,
I wish I had a drum roll sound effect.
So, okay, what does it says? It's, the zoning, there were 2 zones, right? One was the direct impact zone and the indirect impact zone. That remains the same. The only difference with that is that the direct impact zone also includes the slopes facing the beach. And we have to keep in mind that all of this is a regulation for construction in the buffer zone of the Austin Wildlife Refuge. So our prime goal here is to protect the refuge and its resources. So slopes that face the ocean are also included in the direct impact zone. That's the first change
Even
that
if it's
I can
outside
tell you.
of a kilometer?
Yes.
Okay.
In both, in all the 5 kilometers that encompass the buffer zone of the Austin Wildlife
Okay, got
Refuge.
it. So I'll try to say that back in one sentence.
Yeah.
Slopes that face the ocean, it doesn't matter as much distance-wise. You could be 2, 3, 4 kilometers out, but if you're facing the ocean, you're still going to get pulled into the 1 kilometer.
Yes, the direct impact zone.
Okay.
Height, which was something that we got a lot of comments. The direct impact zone has a maximum of 9 meters.
Okay, so 9 meters as opposed to 6.
Yes. And the indirect impact zone, 12 meters. And it's very important to notice that that's from like the base floor to the Viga Corona. I don't know the word of that in English,
so that's
but
not
it doesn't
the top
include
of the roof.
Yes.
Okay. So you could do 3 stories inside of the 1 kilometer.
Yes, I mean, if
especially if you're short like I am, we can get 3 stories. Rich, you might only get 1.5.
All right, so I can only have 2 stories, but you can have
But
3.
it's approximately 30
so
feet.
yeah, but what is important is it's not referring about how many floors. It's about total height, so 9 or 12.
I get you. But just for people listening, it helps them.
Right.
But it's kind of equivalent to that. A 9 could be like a comfortable 2-story height building, and
Okay,
then
so again, inside the 1 kilometer, you're saying 9 meters is what they're going to announce. And what was it outside?
12.
Okay, 12. Okay.
Then the footprint will be the same for both direct and indirect impact zone, and that's 50%.
So percentage of use is 50%?
Yes.
And what does that consist of, though?
Really good question. Thank you. So it means everything that it's going to be with a roof or paved. So that includes your pool, your construction, your garage. 50% of it is what you're going to be able to build, and the other 50% it has to stay permeable so that when it rains, the ground can absorb that water.
Okay, so to say it back to you. So 50% is the percentage of use, but that factors in everything, as in house, rancho, pool, anything that has a roof or concrete.
Yes.
Did I
Correct.
understand that right?
Yes.
Okay, so 50%. All right, let's keep going. What about lights?
Lights, it changed a little bit with more details. We got amazing feedback. At the end of the day, the goal of the lights is that you cannot see them from the beach. So basically, it regulates external lights in construction. And there is also an impact of indirect lights. It's called glow. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you can see the light from the beach, but it also talks about kind of like the overall glow of it. But basically what it tries to avoid is that you can see a lot of lights from the beach. So to give you an example, if you have an external light on your wall, like you have your light here and you need to have like a cover, like so that the light is pointed down.
Okay,
Those
so
kinds of things.
lights down or covered, is there still going to be a mandate for a wall?
No.
Or some sort of blocking apparatus up? Okay.
No. There's a suggestion. There's an area of suggestions where the suggestion talks about, for example, it encourages people to plant native trees, native plants, because that promotes biological corridors. But those are suggestions. Those are not mandatory. And the last part, which we got a lot of feedback, and I think it's very important, is that it makes mandatory for people to put improved septic systems. So what does that mean is that you have, like for big developments, it's kind of already factoring, like a big development has to have a treatment plant most of the time. So that's already happening. But for small houses, it talks about not only, some houses in town just have like a culvert, and what they are making mandatory is that you have to include, it's called improved septic system. So it's at least like 2 tanks or a grease tramp, which when you do the comparison by price, it's really, it comes almost the same. Maybe it's like 10, 20,000 colones more when you're doing something like that, to buy like the traditional culvert that some people use to do something that it's like an improved septic system. So that's making it mandatory.
Yeah, the biodigesters are, thank goodness they work so much better, and they've gotten, the affordability is really not all that bad.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that was the big concern for people, where they were saying, well, how about addressing, the septic issues? Because those are the ones that seem to be severe in some areas.
Kuki, I'm really interested in knowing about the lot size or the subdivision minimum lot sizes.
Well, I didn't say it because it was taken out of the current regulations.
Really?
Yes. So
why is that?
The decision was made to be included into the regulatory plan process.
Okay.
There's a need for deeper studies, and so we decided that that's what needs to happen.
Wow. Okay. So let me try to say this back to you to make sure I understand. Again, this is a big moment for me. I've been waiting, along with the whole rest of the community.
It's big for all of us, really.
All right. So I'm going to try to say it back.
Okay.
Correct me where I'm wrong.
Okay.
All right. Lights, down, covered.
Not
We
being
don't have
able
to
to
have
see
the
it from the
wall.
beach. No wall.
The goal is just don't see it from the beach, but we don't have to do the wall. That's scrapped. Height restriction. We're not at 6 meters inside the 1 kilometer. We're moving to 9 meters, which essentially, for layman's terms, you could do 3 stories safely.
Yes.
2, actually.
Well, if you have a lower ceiling, you can do a 3-story.
Comfortable, at least with the architect said, it's 2.
Yeah, maybe 2.5.
So 9 usually refers to 2, and 12 refers to 3.
Okay, so
that was kind of a joke. I mean, you could have a 9 with 3, but probably wouldn't be that comfortable for your guests.
Got it. So inside the 1 kilometer, you can go up 9 meters, which in theory, if you're a short person, you could do 3 stories. If you're tall, you're at 2.
That's right.
But outside of the 1 kilometer, that's not 9 meters, it's 12.
Correct.
Okay. Subdivisibility, again, completely off the charts for right now. The way they're mandating that, for the most part, it sounds like it's in the percentage of use, which is 50%.
Yes.
And the 50%
For both
is
areas.
inclusive of everything.
Yes.
As in house, rancho, pool, anything that's concrete or has a roof. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Anything that makes it impermeable to water.
Okay. So that's height, that's percentage of use, that's lights, and that's also size.
Wastewater.
And now
wastewater.
Got it. And then they're going to add in some additional factors as far as biodigesters and
Improved
septic
systems.
Mm-hmm.
And then one more thing is that there's, I think in English it's called like grandfather.
Okay.
In Spanish it's called a transitorio. And so there's going to be a transitorio for projects that are already well advanced in the development stage, but that haven't come for municipal permits for construction. Those projects are going to be allowed to come to the municipality and do some, minor modifications that the regulations is not going to apply to them. Because if you already have a project that, you could be in Setena or you could be in Sefia, but not at the point where you're ready to come to the municipality. If you're there, it means that you have made a considerable investment on it, and the municipality is being aware of not affecting that people or those projects. So those are going to be grandfathered.
So, Rich, I really think that with this new version, it has answered the maybe 99% of the complaints and concerns that people voiced while after the first the first version was, and people were concerned about their projects that they had spent a lot of money on that were in the tramite, but, hadn't gone to the permit stage. So that's been addressed. People were concerned about lot size. That's been taken out of the equation. They were concerned that the height was way too small for even a 2-story building. That was taken out of the equation. So I think, and people were worried about septic systems, and that's been put into the equation. And there are no more walls, and the lights are basic common sense. And, to protect the beach, which is you don't want to have the light seen from the beach. So I really think, and I think we all think, and the NCA thinks that this is going to gather whatever, if there were people that maybe even opposed to the first one, that this should take away pretty much all the reasons that people were opposed to the first ones.
What do you think people would still object to?
I really don't know at this point.
I really don't know, but I do have to share that there is an audience with the Municipal Council of Nicoya this Thursday, where they're going to go and present, the opposition is going to go present their points. So I think it's very important for the people who support this to know that this is the time where, we have a really good second draft in our hands, and we need everybody who supports this information that we just shared, and just overall sustainable development in this community to go ahead and send the email to the municipal council, to the commission, saying that they support this project, because we need to be shown, as we understand now, that the vast majority of this community supports it. So
okay, so who do they contact to send that email to?
We need to send the email to planregulador@municoya.go.cr. I'm hoping that you can put that up also. And it could be very simple. It just needs to have your name, where do you work? Like, I can say my name is Kuki, I work in the tourism sector, and I support the building regulations for Nosara. That's enough.
But they're supporting what you just announced.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I want to just, chime into that, because this really is the community's chance to show the municipality that we believe in sustainable development. Because these new rules that they're proposing is really a good baseline to start from. And we still have the regulatory process for the ultimate goal of having a zoning plan in place, the regulatory plan in place. And that's going to take more time and more studies. But I think that this is a really clear issue now, that if people support sustainable development, please let your wishes be known. Let your support be known. It's really important. We have an opposition that represents a minority view, but that is well funded and well organized. They've even hired a professional public relations company from San Jose to put their message forward. So, we need the community to rally behind not just the NCA, but these regulations that the municipality is now proposing. It's very important.
Got anything else? Get off your chest? You want to grab a hold of?
I just want to thank you again, and I appreciate you having these podcasts, because we're always trying to improve our communication output and where we can get the word out so that people know what's going on. And I really hope that people start looking at our Facebook page and reading the email blasts we send out. And we're going to try to put more current information on the website too. So if you really want to know what's going on, we hear about fake news. There's a lot of fake news in this community. and we're trying to not put out things that are not true.
And send an email. If you have a question, just send us an email, a message on Facebook. We'll answer it.
Yeah.
Like it's about communication.
Right. It's just info@nca.cr. We always answer our emails within one day. We monitor that. We try our best. We are a volunteer organization, but we are trying really hard to respond to people's questions.
All right. Well, I appreciate you both coming on. Thanks for the updates.
You're welcome.
Very interesting. It'll be exciting to see how the community receives this and what comes of it.
Okay.
Thanks for your efforts. And again, thanks for coming on.
Thank you,
Thank
Rich.
you.